There are a ton of 22 LR options on the market, and this is an all new one from Bergara. This is the B14R Crest CF. So meaning this has the Crest carbon fiber stock, and then it does have a carbon fiber wrapped barrel on here. It's an 18-inch 22 barrel, 1 in 16 twist, and we're lucky enough that Bergara sent this out to us before release to try it out and shoot it a bunch, and I've done exactly that. For myself, I found this to be the most accurate 22 I own. Now granted, we do have their BMR, we have BMR X, I do have their BXR, which is their 1022 like target competition style one. I've got a Ruger 1022. I've had a lot of 22s growing up, right? And for me, in the most part, a 22 has always served a purpose for squirrel hunting or small game hunting, you know, chipmunks, whatever it might be. But recently, I've kind of gotten into shooting 22s and more of a, not necessarily competition, but kind of training aspect, right? So with this rifle in general, if you're not familiar with the B14R, it is an R700 footprint, meaning the bolt itself is R700 in the regard that the bolt throw and how it actually works just like a standard B14 action. It's very similar to that. It is not any different. In fact, the safety is the same and the trigger is the same. With that being said, if you wanted to take this barreled action out of this gun and put it in an R700 footprint chassis, you could do that. Now, do I think that this is the right rifle for you if that's your plan? Not necessarily, right? Because it is an expensive rifle and it's not for everybody. Anytime you start adding carbon fiber into a gun and the stock or chassis and then the barrel and stuff like that, you immediately increase the price. So this is an expensive rifle, right? It is going to retail or has MSRP around $1,800. So that's a lot, right? That's going to give some folks sticker shock. But for you, there are cheaper options from Bergara or other manufacturers. Again, like I said, we've shot a bunch of different ones. This is more of a specialty one with all the carbon fiber, a R700 footprint 22 action on here, a AICS style pattern magazine, right? So this does have a 10 round magazine that ships with the gun. I've had no issues with feeding or reliability in regards to that. I have roughly about 120 something rounds through it now. It does have 3 squirrel kills under its belt already. I've killed them out of my yard and it's worked very well for that. And on top of that, I found that this rifle in general, I'll show you here before we shoot some groups, is I was actually able to just shoot this rifle a bit and actually go through and just group it just a touch, right, to begin. So this right here, this is going to be SK match. And this over here, this is just standard CCI. This is a small game subsonic round because I am shooting this 22 with a suppressor. These are 50 yards. I found that it's accurate enough to hit a 6-inch plate at 125. And I'll shoot it off my Barricade today a little bit. And well, of course, I'm going to show you groups. Now, the groups I'm going to show you, I'm going to shoot 2 10-round groups. It's a little bit on the windy side today, but that shouldn't affect us too much because of the wind we have down here. But it is going to be this SK Rifle Match 22. Again, I've tried some other ones. They all shoot well. This one is the one I found to shoot the best. It's not all that expensive either. I think I found this for about 11 bucks a box at a local store. And so that's not bad, right? I can't really complain. Now on the top though, you do have a 20 MOA pick rail. It is threaded with a cap on the end. I threw an FN Catch 22 suppressor on there. On the top of the gun, what I do have is a Maven. This is the RS 1.2. This is a Japanese glass scope. It's perfect for this rifle. The low end helps for, you know, small game at close, and the 15 helps for that small game at further distances. In addition to that, trying to shoot groups at further distances or 50 yards or 100, whatever it might be, this will do it for you. It adds a good crisp reticle with holdovers and all that stuff. And overall, this setup, as you see it sitting here, the rifle itself weighs 6.2 ounces or 6.2 pounds with nothing on it, right? With my scope on here and my small suppressor, this thing still comes in at like 8.5 pounds. So it's still very light. You really can't complain about that for the full setup. Is it a heavier sight for a 22? Yeah, sure it is, right? But I have a suppressor on there and I got a scope and it's got a 20 MOA base, larger bolt knob. Again, takes AI assist pattern magazines and has a good overall cheek piece on here. Now you'll notice on the bottom, it's flat here on the front like the Crest stock is. It does have QD cups on the left and right side of the gun, and then also sling stud swivels if you want them. And then a good, you know, rubberized butt pad just in case your 22 has too much recoil for you. So outside of that though, let's shoot a few groups with this thing to see how it performs overall. But this thing for me so far has been, for me personally, one of the most accurate 22s I've owned. Now I know there's more expensive ones out there, and they are likely more accurate, right? Your high-end competition rigs like Voodoo and stuff like that, they're great. But this one here could hold 2 roles. It can hunt and shoot a match if you want to. So let's shoot it. We're set up at 50 yards now, and I'm going to shoot two 10-round groups using the SK rifle match. The first group is got, I would say it's probably roughly about an inch. So we'll shoot another one, and then what you'll see is I've noticed with this rifle, after you get the barrel seasoned a little bit for 22 shooters, is that it starts to actually become more accurate, which is pretty normal. But for this thing, like I said, I found the SK is probably the best ammo for it. I have some other ones I could try, but it looks like a good overall grip. So we just shot two 10-round groups, right? Both of them are, let's just say it's like one big ragged hole, right? I mean, it's a very accurate rifle, very consistent. In fact, the next one actually tightened up a little bit, which is pretty standard with your 22 barrels, that as you shoot them, they get a little bit better, and then you keep shooting this somewhat, keep getting better and better, right? This SK stuff is readily available by my house. It seems to be accurate. I really can't ask for a whole lot more. Next thing I want to do is, like I said, we'll show you guys those groups. I'll run it off the Barricade, and I'll give you my final thoughts. That's it, off the Barricade, the B14R Crest. Very well balanced, it feels good. It's obviously nice and flat for running a bag like this Armageddon gear. And it's just a really nice overall feel as you're running off there. It feels well balanced. It doesn't feel too, let's say front heavy. And it's also, of course, not heavy in the back end, which is good and what you want when you're resting it on there. And it does fit through our cattle gate. But let's run down there, take a look at our target, and show you guys those groups. So, I'll show you guys the groups again. These are the previous ones. This is CCI green tag, or the small game stuff. This was one I shot before today, and these are the ones I just shot today, right? We do have a little bit of left to right wind here. No big deal, and of course that's what you're seeing, a little bit of the group shift. But what we see here is it's a good, let's say, 1/2 inch group, maybe 3/4 on a bad day, right? And then the same thing here. In fact, it even got a little bit better. The B14R Crest CF is a fantastic shooting gun. These are 10 round groups, right? You could do 5, you could do 3. I mean, the rifle's very accurate, and consistently it's able to make 125 yard hits on 6-inch plates off a cattle gate, essentially just using that for support, right? Now again, I'll probably say, who is this rifle for? I don't know that I would say personally this is for the most casual user of a 22, because that's a lot of money. I think anybody should get what they want, okay? But the big thing that I would probably tell you, if you're somebody that has the B14 Crest, or like the CF or the SEMA, it's very similar to those rifles, so you get that same fit and feel. We'll be able to practice things, and especially one of the big things I could probably tell you for practice, right, is keeping that head down on your cheek rest and running the bolt at the same time. So you can practice that stuff. The trigger is the exact same, the magazine release is the exact same, and it just feels like a great overall training rifle, while at the same time being very accurate, right? What I would probably tell you is that you see these groups, it's accurate, it's consistently accurate. These are, 3 10-round groups with the same ammo, all of them printing at roughly less than 3/4 MOA at 10-shot groups. I really can't complain about that too much. I think it's a great shooting rifle that really does live up to what Bergara is known for, and being an accurate rifle. So guys, if you're interested in a lightweight, all carbon fiber R700 footprint 22, the Bergara Crest CF is for you.